Hey guys, so before this video starts, I just want to say that I changed my YouTube name from Azenzio to Turn the Tables in case you haven't noticed, because I feel like Turn the Tables is a bit more fitting for a card game channel than Azenzio. I wasn't really thinking back then. So, yeah, and today I'll be doing a deck profile. Not for Buddy Fight, I'll be doing it for Vanguard. So, my last video was all the way back when I unboxed the new Star Dragon Wool trial deck, and I did build the Prism Dragon deck like with the 4 secret sets and everything, but somehow the file got corrupted and I just couldn't upload it, so I'm gonna have to re-record it, and we'll see what happens there. But for now, we've got Vanguard. So basically this is Blade Wings. With the recent release of GBT11, Blade Wings got kind of a boost, I guess. Darkness and Dark Irregulars got a boost in general. So if you don't know what Darkness is, it's basically Dark Irregular signature ability. This one doesn't have it. Hold on. Yeah, something like this. You see the keyword Darkness there. Basically, Darkness will activate whenever you put a card into the soul during that turn. So as long as a card has been put into the soul, you can activate Darkness. So this deck revolves around building high power and really just controlling the field and preventing yourself from decking out with the awesome Bladewing Stride. So yeah, let's just get straight into the video. For the start, I play the Ranged Singular. Yes, here in Singapore we do play the Japanese games, so sorry for you English viewers. I'll try my best to explain the abilities as in-depth as I can. So this one is the Forerunner ability, and the second ability is Darkness. When this unit boosts a Vanguard, the boosted unit gains plus 2k, so yeah, it's pretty good. And its third ability is when your G unit strike, put this unit and all other grade 1 or higher units into the soul and draw 2 cards. So you're getting, like, if you have a 4 card field including himself, you're gonna get like 4 cards into the soul and a 2 draw for free, which is absolutely amazing. That's why we're gonna run this as our starter. And as for the grade 3s, I play 4 copies of a really good card. 4 copies of Bladewing Sullivan. So Bladewing Sullivan, grade 3 from Fighters Collection Winter, I believe. So his continuous ability, no GB in his ability at all, and if you have 15 soul or more, he gains the skill Continuous Vanguard. All your Guardians gain plus 10k, but at the end of the battle you have to soul blast 2. So even if you did not guard that battle and your Guardians didn't gain plus 10k, as long as you have 15 soul or more, you have to soul blast 2. In my opinion, it's really worth it, because your G Guardians are gonna go up to like 30k, 40k guard, and all your 10k guards become 20s, your 5 become 15s, and in general, it's just a really good card for defensive measures. The Soul Blast 2, some may argue that it's heavy, but I don't think so. I mean, the Soul Blast 2 doesn't really matter with the amount of soul you build up with this deck. So yeah. So for the last grade 3, I play 1 copy, just 1, of Bladewing Reiji. So basically, his continuous heal is if you have 15 or more Dark Irregulars in your soul, he gains crit plus 2. So he becomes a 3 crit monster. Good for finishing off your opponents if you ever need it, but I play him mainly for his second skill. Oh, speaking of which, kind of forgot there. Bladewing Reiji and Bladewing Sullivan both have the same second skill, in which basically you choose a card on your rear guard, you search your deck for 3 cards with the same name as that card and put them to your soul. So your main targets are going to be Dimension Creeper and Enigmatic Assassin. So yeah, it's good for just putting things into the soul, and so you can like execute your finishing turns more easily. Alright, so now for the grade 2s, I play 3 copies of Flying Librarian. So Flying Librarian is a promo. It is kind of hard to find, but well, we do have to play it anyway because it's a really important card in this deck. Counterblast 1, when this unit is placed on rear guard, you soul charge 2, then if you have 6 or more cards in the soul, you draw a card, and then if you have 10 or more cards in the soul, you unflip the damage. So yeah, it's really good because you are paying Counterblast 1 for soul charge 2 and a draw. And then if you have 10 or more, her whole skill becomes effectively free. So you're getting Soul Charge 2 and a free draw for a Counterblast, or potentially even free. Really good pluses in that skill. Next, you play 4 of kind of a clone for Flying Librarian. We have Succubus of Attachment. This is a rare from GBT11. kind of the same skill. This one has darkness though, which makes it different. Counterblast 1, when this is placed in rearguard, soul charge 1, so 1 less soul charge, but if you have 6 or more soul, counter charge 1, and if you have 10 or more soul, draw 2 cards, choose a card from your hand, and discard it. So you're getting a +1 still, but you can get rid of unwanted shit from your hand, and basically just gain that free skill, just like Flying Librarian, if you have 6 soul more this time. So even though it's 1 soul charge less, you're still getting something out of it, which is really, really important. Next, 1 copy of Demonted, I think, Executioner. Basically, his first skill is once per turn darkness, counterblast 1. If you have 6 or more soul, he gains 2k. If you have 10 or more soul, he gains 3k. So essentially, if you have 10 or more soul, he gains plus 5k. And his second skill is when you place on rearguard, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, search for a darkness card from among them, put it into your soul, and shuffle your deck. So in that 7, you can only put 1 into the soul. Which is still really good because you're getting a soul charge off and you're targeting your enigmatic assassins. The main reason why I just run 1 of him is because, well, if he ends up into your hand, then, well, use his skill and try and find your enigmatic assassins to put to the soul, which is really important to build up for your powerful turns. Next, 4 copies of Bladewing Skies, or Skis, not really sure, but basically, when you place on rearguard, if you have a Bladewing Vanguard, you can soul charge 1. So yeah, really, really good. And then from the soul, you can put him from the soul into the drop zone, then you soul charge 2. So it's basically a Dimension Creeper clone with the ability to soul charge when he's placed on rearguard. So really, really, really good card. Getting 3 pluses and being a second Dimension Creeper in the deck is really, really good. Dimension Creeper, of course, is a really good card, but now that you play 4 of that and 4 of this, you're pretty much getting 8 Dimension Creepers, which is a lot of Dimension Creepers. Speaking of Dimension Creeper, I play 4 Dimension Creeper. Basically, classic Dark Irregulars card. It's a staple. Maybe not in a Darkness deck, but in a Bladewing deck for sure. Basically, from the soul, you put into the drop zone, soul charge 2. So, similar to Bladewing Sky's second ability. So, he is a bit hard to find from BT12, but I'm sure it can't be that bad. 2 copies of Succubus of Avarice. I think that's her name. Really good card. Just 2 perfect guards in this deck. Just to kind of save space. But I honestly think 2 perfect guards is more than enough, because once you end up using this, you use T-Bolt to shuffle it back into the deck, ends up in your soul again. You can just put it back into your hand with her ability. And speaking of ability, her first ability is Sentinel, and her second ability is just a perfect guard ability. Basically, when it's placed in the Guardian Circle, discard card from your hand, nullify the attack. And her last ability, Act GB1 Darkness from the Soul. Retire 1 of your rear guards and return her to the hand. So yeah, if she ends up in the soul, that's how you get her back into your hand. Next, I play 3 copies of Tiger Jaeger, a card that used to be a promo, but now is a rare in GBT11. Basically, his first skill is Counterblast 1. When he's put into the soul, due to the cost or effect of a card, draw a card. So if you soul charge it, or like for some reason it goes from your hand into the soul, I don't know why, but if it ends up in the soul somehow, you counterblast 1, you draw a card. You're getting a free plus for that. And his second skill is Act Darkness from the Soul. Counterblast 1, discard card from your hand. If you have 6 or more cards in the soul, soul charge 1. Then if you have 10 or more, return it to the hand. So you're getting a free strike fodder. Speaking of strike fodder, if you have 2 or more darkness cards in the soul, you can use them as a strike fodder. So really, really good. The reason why I play him at 3 is because you don't really run that many darkness cards in this deck. That's why instead I continue to play 3. I have no idea what this card is called, but it's a strike fodder. And its first ability is Search for Shaharot, but we obviously don't play Shaharot in this deck, so its second skill is more important. Basically, it's a strike fodder. So when you use it for strike, it gains grade +2. So yep. And now for the triggers. First of all, 4 crit, 8 crit, and what this crit does is from the rear guard put into the soul, and you choose a unit field, you get +3k. So you're getting a free soul and a +3k. So optimal crit trigger to run. 4 copies of Monochrome of Nightmare Land. So this card is really, really, really good. GB1 act as many times as you want per turn, as of course if you end up having it like multiple copies of it. You put it at the top of your deck, and you shuffle it back into your deck essentially, and then you soul charge one. If you have 6 or more cards in the soul, you unflip a damage, and if you have 10 or more cards in the soul, you draw a card. So it's really, really good. I find myself a lot of times when I draw a card using its effect, I draw back into it, and then I just keep repeating the cycle for free soul charges and free draws, and it's a good way to sort of just filter out your deck for good stuff. And lastly, I play 4 copies of the new Hue trigger from Fighters Collection. It's a foil one. I do intend on playing his Grade 4 counterpart, but I don't have it on me at the moment, so for now it's just a normal Hue. Alright, so that's it for the main deck. Actually no, I do have 4 more Grade 0s here. 4 Enigmatic Assassin, there's one missing here. I cannot find my last Enigmatic Assassin for some reason. Basically, from the soul, darkness, at the beginning of your attack phase, it's very important to note that only at the beginning of the attack phase, you can call it out from the soul, and then if you have 10 or more cards in the soul, against plus 5k, if you have 15 or more, against plus 10k. So basically, against plus 15k becomes a 20k booster. You have it here in one column. You have it like 40k just by 2 Grade 0s, which is amazing. And using Bladewing Table skill, you can potentially go up to 50k, or Soulless Demagogue, you can have it go up to 47, 48, maybe even higher. Depends on how fast you can soul charge, which is why Bladewing Skies and Dimension Creeper, yes, I almost forgot his name there. Dimension Creeper is really important. Alright, now for the G Zone. First off, 2 copies. Try to find the other one here. There we go. 2 copies of Bladewing T-Bolt. So, I think it's Rings of Resurrection or something, but main thing you want to run in for is his skill, not his name. When he's placed on the Vanguard circle, if you have a Bladewing Heart, so you have to have a Bladewing Heart, which is why I play Bladewing cards, Grade 3s only. Then you shuffle your drop zone back into your deck. So you shuffle your drop zone first, then you can use his other 2 skills. So why is shuffling your drop zone back into the deck a really good thing? Dark Irregulars tends to deck out more often than other decks. In fact, it probably decks out the most. And shuffling your drop zone back into your deck is just really, really good, because especially in Blade Wings, your drop zone builds up like mad, and you have cards like Bladewing Skies, Dimension Creeper just stacking up your drop zone. You want to do a ton of guarding. Bladewing Sullivan, you know, Soul Blasting 2. Your drop zone just builds up a lot. So you can potentially have like 20 cards being shuffled back into the deck, allowing you to live a little longer. And that's not the only good thing about this card. In fact, he has a second skill, which is if you have 15 or more cards in the soul, your front row rear guards, not himself, your front row rear guards, gain plus 10k. And if you do not have 15 cards in the soul, you soul charge 5. So, important thing to note with this card is if you use his soul charge 5 skill to reach 15 soul, you cannot activate the plus 10k effect on the same turn. But it doesn't matter, because it's just really, really good. A really good card to try and survive on, and of course build on into a really good strike turn. So I guess the first time you use it, you really want to use it with the Soul Charge 5 for your Bladewing Sullivan to activate his defensive maneuvers. But after that, you just want to get that plus 10k boost so your front row has a bit more pressure onto your opponents. Alright, next, 1 copy of, I have no idea what his name is. Sorry, when you play Japanese game, you don't really tend to remember their names. You just know what it does. I think his name is Rugarius, if I'm not wrong, from GBT11. Counter plus 1, G-flip a copy of any card in the G-zone. You soul charge 3. Then for each card, soul charge with different grades. So you soul charge 3, say you get 1, 2, and 3. You can choose the same number of rear guards according to the number of different grades you have. So if you pull 2, 2, and 3, you got 2 different grades, so you can choose 2 rear guards with this effect. If you got 1, 2, 3, you got 3 different grades, you can choose 3 rear guards with this effect, and they gain plus 5k. Then if you soul charge the card with the darkness ability, you choose a grade 3 from your soul, put it into your hand. So why is this card so good? It helps you accelerate your GB8. I do not play GB8, but if you do play the GB8, it helps you accelerate that, and as well as getting a free soul charge 3 off, and the potential of adding back Strider into your hand. So it's really, really good. I just play at 1 because we also play Arikius. So Arikius is from GBT08, I believe. GBT07. Okay. Basically, Darkness, when it attacks, you soul charge 2, and if you have 6 or more soul, when his attack hits, you choose one of your opponent's graveyards and retire it. Then if you have 15 or more soul, it gains plus 1k for each card in your soul. So, potential high hitter, but mainly you just want to pressure your opponent to the free retire you might get with his skill. And the soul charge 2 is a good bonus as well. Alright, next, 1 copy of one who's steeped in sin, I believe, Shahrot. Basically, GB2 Darkness, counterblast 1. You put all rear guards into the soul. When he attacks, he gains plus 10k. And then if you have 10 or more cards in the soul, retire all of your opponent's rear guards. If you have 15 or more cards in the soul, your opponent cannot call Sentinel to Guardian Circle. So you prevent your opponent from using perfect guards. 36k hitter. He's really, really good at retiring, just clearing your opponent's field in general. If your opponent has any like trading in cards, such as maybe Chatara or things that can change the game, anything that can go not in your favor, I guess. Next, 4 copies of Abominable 1, Gilderai. Kind of hard to say there, but G-Flip a copy of himself. If you have 10 or more cards in the soul, he gains plus 10k. And then if you have 15 or more cards in the soul, your opponent cannot call grade 1 or higher cards to Guardian Circle, so again, restricting perfect guards, and it gets critical plus 1. So why is this card such a danger? Well, say you reach his 36k effect with his ability, and then you call Enemy Assassin from the soul. You're hitting this, preventing your opponent from using perfect guards, so the only thing they can use is G Guardians, and then it's like 56k. So 20k, 36, you get 56. So it's a really, really, really menacing number to try and finish off your opponent. I feel with the release of Breadamouth, which I do not play in this deck, unfortunately, because I do not have it. But release of Breadamouth, I guess you're going to see lesser of him, but, you know, people are still going to play him because it's a really, really good card at trying to just pressure your opponent into finishing the game. Next, 1 copy of Soulless Demagogue, I believe his name is. So basically, Soulless Demagogue's ability is whenever a card is put into the soul, all rear guards in your front row, I believe himself as well, gain plus 1k. Yeah, so you just get 1k for each card you put into the soul, so it's really, really good. And lastly, for the G Guardians, 2 copies of Agrat's Bat Malat. Basically, Malat's skill is when you G-Guard with it, it gains plus 5k, and you soul charge 2. So, really, really good because with Blaming Sullivan's effect, it's a 20k shield, and you soul charging 2 cards is essentially paying for his skill. So, really, really good. And lastly, 2 copies of Saint Germain. Saint Germain's ability is when you G-Guard with it, if you have 10 or more cards in the soul, it gains plus 10k shield, so 25k, and 35k shield with Blaming Sullivan's effect. And if you have 15 or more cards in the soul, all your rear guards gain resist. Really, really good. Just preventing your opponent from retiring your shit. So, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it's not Bloody Fight, I'm sorry, but I just need to get a bit more videos out there, try and make up for not uploading. I'm so sorry. I'll try and upload more. Please let me know what you want to see. I'll try and get a deck for you guys and I'll profile it. And with the release of Crossing Generations soon, I will try and make a fully updated Prism Dragon deck before I actually profile it. Just to like kind of make it easier, since if I profile the deck now, it's not going to make any sense because Crossing Generations is coming out and then I will have to do another deck profile after. So thanks for watching, guys. Please like, subscribe, tell your friends, and peace out.